Hello, Dan the Weatherman here. Hey, welcome to my weather show. It's an interesting week of weather across much of New Zealand. We're talking warm, we're talking wet, and of course that means the North Tasman is opening for business to bring in the wet weather. This is the wide shot looking at the whole globe, Australia, all the way north to Asia. And the area of low pressure that was over Australia back end of last week, that is a bit more of a ragged center, the upper low that is coming through. The upper energy is eased, but it still is a circulation that can tap into the North Tasman and the subtropics to feed in the moisture. There's that zone of wet weather that's worked in across parts of the west of the South Island. That'll be the first dump of rain, but then more here that'll be working in towards parts of the North Island as we run away through the first part of the week. I always like to look at the upper levels, the upper level engine room. That's the cutoff low. Blue is energy. That's the first push to squeeze out the moisture for the west of the South Island. Could be a couple of 100 millimeters. Then the next surge is the blue. They'll be squeezing out that moisture, and that's not the only thing. After this low goes away, but it doesn't really. I'll show you what I mean. Watch what happens. There's the upper low, and then look at this. See how there's a lump of red, an upper ridge stopping it from going away. That's Wednesday into Thursday. So it stays cloudy and showery over the far south, but that's not a real cold surge of air. And then look at this. By later in the week, Thursday, Friday, a new cut-off upper low coming from Australia with another dump of some rain into some northern and western areas. So you're looking for dry weather this week. Good luck. It's going to be quite showery and wet weather-wise. This is how we start the week. Pipeline of rain there. That moves across much of the west of the South Island first thing. That dump of rain will be moving through. You'll have the engine room to come across. And over parts of the North Island, there's your wet Monday. That could be 30 to 60 millimeters. That goes away. Remember the upper low sitting there. So that's cloudy, showery. Blue line is 1,000 meters for a snow level. Heads up later in the week, Thursday onwards, a cold undercut, Thursday into Friday. Inland areas, the Alps, maybe Mackenzie. And then that is the low that works in for this time next week. Could be next weekend with another dump of some rain to work through. How much rain are we talking this week? You're of course still not so keen on some rain across parts of Canterbury. The first lump of spillover gives you anywhere from say 5, 10 to as much as maybe 20 towards the Alps. That's over 200 millimeters in places to the west with that first system Monday into Tuesday, and there'll still be bits to top up. This of course is the first surge coming through, but you see these purple areas, that's getting up to close to 100 millimeters. Eastern Bay of Plenty, maybe just off the coast of Northland. But remember, there'll be the second storm to come through. So in a nutshell, there'll be good rain northern and western areas. Further east, not as much. The flow is generally in that west-northwest direction. And a pretty high snow level, 1,500 to 2,000 meters. That could drop down second half of the week below 1,000. This is Monday. Lump of rain, that could be heavy at times over the North Island, trailing into that frontal boundary there. The main lump of rain on the west has moved through, turning more showery. With the engine room here, that makes it quite thundery. That is just a showery day, not as much further east, but it certainly is a raincoat day to start off the first part of the week. And by the way, with that warm northwest flow, it's temperature-wise easily above where we should be, some 13, 14 to as high maybe upper teens to parts of the far north. Tuesday, wet weather there, still some showers, engine room goes through, still showery in places even by the course of Wednesday. That is starting to move through. You can see it here, still some leftover showers, what is left to go away. And then this is where we start seeing that snow line there, 1,000 meters. You say, well, why is it interesting? If you've got cold air on a southeaster tucking in, Thursday in particular, some spots there, maybe the Mackenzie, just watch higher ground. If that drops 700 or 800 meters and this is met perhaps a little bit slower, things could change. But in the meantime, that system goes away, and it's just maybe the hints of something on the higher ground down south before that goes away going into Friday. Friday might be the driest day of the week, and you say, really? Yeah, it's in between what could be the next chance for some wet weather to roll its way in. Yeah, for next weekend. So it's up, it's going to be down, there's going to be certainly some wet weather over the course of the week, but temperature-wise, it does stay pretty mild. As I mentioned, you can see the red there. It's a northerly flow. That's why we're easily seeing highs between 13, some spots could see some 20s. There'll be some frost down south. Look at this warmth in Australia. Remember the cold last week? They get another cold blast. Look at this blue here. Boom! Into Western Australia, Southern Australia. That is probably Wednesday. We stay with the northerly flow, but remember the colder undercut there. That's hinting at Thursday, Friday, just to the far south. Could be some frost with that. And if this, of course, changes, something certainly for you to watch. But in a nutshell, it is a warm week. It'll be wet as well. Dry weather, yeah, hang on. It's probably middle of the week, and that's about it. That's the weather for now.